Barioth is a flying wyvern introduced in Monster Hunter Tri for the Nintendo Wii. He has a body structure similar to Nargacuga and Tigrex, and he lives in cold regions. His body has white plating, his wings are covered in spikes to help with mobility in the snow, and he has 2 amber tusks. In Tri, Barioth attacks by pouncing. He can leap forward similarly to Nargacuga while swiping his arm, either twice in a row or 3 times if he's enraged. He can also rush forward. His signature attack is a mini cyclone he can shoot from his mouth that can inflict Ice Blight and Snowman, which is a status that traps you in ice. While Nargacuga and Tigrex would only fly to move between areas and don't fly anymore, Barioth will actively take to the sky in order to either shoot cyclones or land on you from above. He has an attack where he swings himself to the side, jabbing his claw forward, and he can swing his tail like Nargacuga. If you're hit by the end of the attack, you'll be inflicted with Ice Blight. Like a lot of monsters introduced in this game, Barioth can utilise the environment to attack. Here you can see him cling onto a nearby wall and jump off. In this game specifically, he will sometimes dive from you from out of bounds when entering an area. Barioth appeared in Monster Hunter Portable 3rd and received somewhat of a redesign. His old pounce attack and body swing have been removed entirely. Instead, he has a hip check. His speed has also been dramatically reduced, although this is more of a Portable 3rd change, rather than something exclusive to Barioth. The hitbox of his cyclone has been reduced too, so you can touch the edge and still be fine. He still has his old attacks, but the removal of the pounce and the addition of the hip check combined with his speed reduction made him an easier fight for many people, as he now tends to stay in one place. These changes were most likely made because Nargacuga and Tigrex were also in Portable 3rd. The pounce is one of Nargacuga's main attacks, and Tigrex is a monster known for charging forward, so these changes set Barioth apart from them. This is also why Monster Hunter 3 Ultimate retains these changes. Barioth in that game, including low rank, fights how he does in Portable 3rd, and the addition of the target camera also made him a bit easier to deal with. Another thing of note that's more of a game change than a Barioth one is the Tundra Caves. In Tri, Barioth could go there, and you'd have to fight him in complete darkness, unless he brought torches, which added a layer of difficulty to the fight. This is also why his eyes glow. In 3 Ultimate and Portable 3rd, these caves are lit up, so an element of difficulty but also atmosphere is now gone. While Barioth is arguably a bit easier in his games, he still tends to jump around a lot, which can be hard to avoid as he moves around so fast. If you make the effort to break Barioth's wing spikes, then his grip on the snow and ice will be reduced. This causes him to slip whenever he side hops and prevents him from chaining any attacks from them, giving you more breathing room. Portable 3rd introduced the Sand Barioth, a subspecies who lives in the Sandy Plains. This Barioth is orange, and instead of ice, his spikes are used to grip the sand. One difference he has is that he will sometimes snap back after a hip check into another attack. Sand Barioth's signature move is the ability to create a long-lasting sand cyclone, leap into it, and glide into you. The Sandy Plains has quite wide open areas, meaning sand has less chances to wall jump, so this attack allows him to get you from anywhere. In G rank, he can shoot a couple of smaller cyclones that move around across the arena. Barioth skipped Monster Hunter 4, Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate, and Monster Hunter Generations, but he made his return in Generations Ultimate. You can see him in this opening cutscene. Sand Barioth has not returned to any recent games as of this video. This Barioth shares similarities with his 3 Ultimate version, but he has a new attack where he performs a long distance pounce that ends with him turning around. He can also snap back from hip checks and combo into it. This attack is actually exclusive to the GU version and doesn't return for later games. The introduction cutscene shows him performing Sand's Cyclone Dive Bomb, but personally, I've never seen him do it in actual gameplay. I have also never seen him wall jump in this game, so I don't think either of which are possible. Barioth returned for Monster Hunter World's expansion, Iceborne. He is Master Rank only in this game and gets a huge revamp, with a highly detailed body. He still fights like the 3 Ultimate version, but with some new additions and changes. When changing areas, he now walks instead of flies, which means he will no longer ambush you like the older games. He can swipe his claw while swinging around. He has a new super slam he does where he jumps up and lands on the ground with his claws. It's a powerful attack he can combo into. His Ice Cyclone no longer causes the Snowman status due to its removal in World. He can swing his tail around and combo it into flying. Generally, he's pretty fast in this game, almost as fast as he can be in Tri. Like the other games, you can still break his arms to reduce his mobility, and unlike Generation's ultimate, he can jump off walls again. In a later title update, Frostfang Barioth was added to the game. This is a new Barioth variant. He has thicker fur across his body, and his scales have frost on them. He looks older than the standard Barioth, and this marks the first time in the main series a monster has received both a variant and a subspecies. Frostfang can no longer fire his Cyclone. Instead, he shoots ice that remains on the floor and restricts your movement, which can lead to you being caught in attacks. He has some different combos, such as being able to super slam twice in a row. He can also jab his tusks into the ground. In terms of flight, he doesn't jump around as much as Barioth, because he has more attacks that keep him in one place. The frost ends up being the real danger of the fight, as stepping in it can leave you open to attacks, and there's no easy way to negate it. Barioth returned for Monster Hunter Rise, also appearing in Sunbreak. As of this video, Frostfang has not returned. In the base game, he's essentially scaled down for high rank, being a bit slower but still having most of the Iceborne version's attacks, including the new Super Slam. I have never seen this Barioth jump off a wall. In Sunbreak, he's sped up slightly, and has a brand new attack in the form of this Tail Slam, which he can swing around in a follow-up attack. It's not only quick to initiate, but it hits pretty hard, and countering the first hit won't necessarily save you from the follow-up. If his claws are broken, he will fall over after the tail swing. Unlike in Iceborne, Barioth will occasionally fly to different areas, but he still won't ambush you. Let's take a look at Barioth's Blademaster armour. It is primarily white, with turquoise highlights that can be recoloured. The arms feature armour plating from Barioth's back, and this goes for his chest piece, back, and part of his belt. The helmet has his tusks pointing upwards like horns, and he has fur taken from Barioth's wings. The waist has a tool belt featuring knives used for climbing icy mountains. The female set has the same thing going for it, with larger amounts of fur around the waist and on the helmet. The tusks are facing downwards rather than up. Now looking at the gunner sets, the most notable differences are in the helmets. The male helmet is styled to resemble Barioth's face, and there are large tufts of fur on the shoulders. The climbing knives have been replaced with bullets, and like most gunner sets, there is an extra plating covering the left forearm. The female set is slightly more exposed and features a helmet that shows more of the face. Sand Barioth's armour sets, like most subspecies, are recolours of the base form. In this case they match Sand's appearance, being orange, black and red, with dark blue highlights that can be recoloured. Barioth's G-Rank set looks quite a bit different. It still has the old chest piece, but now it has a very knight-like helmet. It also has a long overcoat with a sword strapped to the belt, in addition to the knives. You can also see Barioth's spikes on various parts of the armour. The female set has a similar appearance, although the helmet has been replaced with a headpiece with long hair. The gunner male set also has this hair, and the overcoat has been buttoned up. Once again, the knives have been replaced with bullets. The gunner helmet has the fake hair, as well as a visor covering one eye. The female set looks a bit different, with the hair covering an eye and a tiara on top. The coat is slightly different too. What's notable about these sets is that they have fur on them. Barioth lives in cold regions, so having fur keeps him warm, and presumably the hunters too who wear his armour. The problem with Sand Barioth's gear being simple recolours is that they also have fur on them, which isn't the kind of thing you'd want to wear in the desert. Barioth's high rank set looks quite a bit more suited for that task if you ask me. Anyway, these sets feature the orange, black and red of Sand Barioth and look pretty cool, even if ill suited for the desert. Now in terms of armour skills throughout the series, the armour sets featured in Tri, Portable 3rd, 3 Ultimate and 4 Ultimate have skills focused around dodging, evasion to increase invincibility frames, and constitution to decrease stamina usage. Barioth is a monster that jumps around and dodges. Jumping around and dodging is also the ideal way to counter him, so his set doing that fits very well. His Generation's ultimate set has the skill Airborne, which enhances jumping attacks because, you know, Barioth. The Wild and Rise sets seem to be optimised for longsword users, which is a weapon that relies on evasion. Overall, Barioth's sets are white and feature his backplating, tusks, fur and spikes. His G-Rank set definitely looks the best in my opinion, and while I like Sand Barioth's colour, the fur on the armour looks quite jarring. Frostfang's set looks really good, I love the helmet especially. Which set is your favourite? Let me know in the comments. I like all the Barioths. He has a great fight in every game he appears in. His worst iteration was in Generations Ultimate, and it's only because he sort of blended in with the other 92 monsters, and you basically forgot he was even there. The Iceborne Barioth was a really good conversion to the 5th generation, being fast, strong, and having crazy mobility on the walls. I like the Sunbreak version, but I wish it had kept the wall jumping, since it was something pretty unique to Barioth. The sand subspecies basically has one gimmick, which is the Cyclone Surf. It's a cool attack, but not really worth bringing him back for. In the CGI intro to Generations Ultimate, you can see the standard Barioth pull it off, but he never does it in game. It's definitely something I hope they add to the future Barioths. Frostfang was a surprise in Iceborne. Giving Barioth of all monsters a variant came out of nowhere, but it made sense. The expansion is Iceborne, and the game has received back-to-back challenges with Furious Rajang, Raging Brachydios and Elatrion. The simple change of jumping around less and having no cyclones altered the fight quite a bit. I wish there were more clearly defined ways to counter the ice though, since there's no way to shield it, and you sort of get stuck there, with no way out but to get hit. I like how with Barioth, one consistent thing is how much breaking his parts affects the fight. It means you have to target his arms and tail, going all around his body, and you're rewarded with an easier time. Definitely something more fights can take from. I would say the best Barioth is the one in Iceborne, and there's ways they could improve him further, giving him the Cyclone Surf, but I would also like to see the return of dark caves like in Monster Hunter Rise, so we can really see the glow of his eyes. Which Barioth is your favourite? Let me know in the comments. Thank you for watching this video. You might notice I made a change to Armour evolution. Truth be told, I was unsatisfied with how it was in the Azoras and Hermitor episodes. It wasn't fun to write, it wasn't fun to edit, and worst of all, it wasn't even fun to watch. I considered scrapping it because it takes quite a bit more work than the rest of the video, while not being as interesting. But I decided to give it another shot, so for this episode I decided to focus more so on the design of each set, talking about the visual differences between Gunner and Blade Master, male and female. Let me know what you think, and what other improvements can be made. Be sure to like and subscribe, check out my other videos and subscribe to my Patreon. Have a good day.